how they see Ukraine rightfully as victims of Putin's invasion. Ambassador McFaul, of course, even the Biden administration was looking at the possibility of talks with Russia. CIA director did shuttle diplomacy time and again, going to Russia, trying to figure out a way to get peace talks started where we weren't negotiating from a position of weakness. But let's look at what's happened over the past week. We've unilaterally surrendered on so many fronts. We had the Secretary of Defense coming out saying, oh, no chance of them getting into NATO. No. They're going to have to give up a lot of land for peace. Of course, you negotiate that over the table, of course, and he even had to back off of that. But now you have Donald Trump blaming Ukraine. Nobody in Europe, nobody outside of Russia has blamed Ukraine for this. So how far back does that set us at the negotiation table to not only have a just peace, but get a lasting peace? Because as we learned, the United States ignoring the invasion of Georgia, the United States ignoring the invasion of Ukraine in 2014, the United States ignoring the invasion of Crimea, the United States ignoring the shooting down of passenger jets, all that did was encourage more Russian aggression. So what are the consequences of this if we don't go in and negotiate a tough and lasting peace with Vladimir Putin?
Well, first, Joe, your laydown about peace through strength was fantastic. You should take that clip and send it to every member of Congress, Republican member of Congress. You don't need to send it to the Democrats, and especially to the senators, and especially to the people. Senator, now Secretary Rubio, he used to agree with you. I know that for a fact. And I'm shocked that people are not thinking in those terms, because you're absolutely right. Right now, we look weak. We are acting weak, and weakness has consequences for our national security. First and foremost, in Europe, I was at that Munich Security Conference. Our European allies were in absolute shock about what the vice president said, lecturing them about democracy when we're having struggles with our own. And by the way, thank you for mentioning Alexei Navalny, not talking about the problems of arresting and killing dissidents in Russia. Yulia Navalnaya, his wife, his widow, was in the audience, by the way. But second, just to your point, we are just giving Putin everything without even starting to negotiate. We're telling him he gets territory. He gets Ukraine not to be neutral, not in NATO. We're going to pull our troops out of Europe. And we're going to force Zelensky to have an election before there's going to be a set of negotiations. We're giving him everything. And I've negotiated with the Russians. They're tough negotiators. We need to negotiate with them. But it is a horrific negotiating strategy to give them everything and demand nothing in return. It's just a catastrophic moment for American power.
Well, and this is something that needs to be underlined again, Mika. We've talked about it throughout the morning. We need peace between Ukraine and Russia. The Biden administration was searching for peace between the two, but they weren't going to go into negotiations in a weakened state. And so, yes, we need this war to come to an end. The New York Times this morning reporting that up to 1 million casualties on both sides have taken place. This has been a war of attrition, the bloodiest, deadliest war in Europe since Hitler began his invasions in the 1930s. So, yes, peace is what we want, but peace through strength, not peace through capitulation.
Yeah. Gene, your latest